Hello there Scapers, my name is Zenivilius and today I reach 1000 weapon gizmo shells in my inventory. That basically means only one thing from now. I'm gonna spend a lot of time and money trying to get Precise for Equilibrium 2. Far too late after release. I've been putting it off because I dreaded having to spend that much money and that much time. But now with the release of Invention machines, I was able to get all those components using the disassemblers, with two of which I have back there. But yeah, without having to actually log in and spend time disassembling. So let's have a go at this. I have disassembled far too many, I think too many actually. And as you can see, I have 22k precise components. The drop rate of this perk is 1 in 500 or 1 in 2500 precise components, something around there. I have about 10 times that much, so I should expect to get 10 Precise for Equilibrium 2s here, provided I have enough weapon gizmo shells, which I don't. So with 1000 I should be able to get 2, but RNG doesn't always abide by the rules, so let's have a go, let's see what happens. I'm going to reset my XP counter from lots, and since I'm 200 mil invention I won't get any actual invention XP, but let's see how much a virtual invention XP I'll get, and let's see whether we can get all 3 that I want before all these gizmo shells are up. 141 tries in, I realized that I should probably use my invention cape boost, because without it it might take a lot longer. Gotta get all the boosts you can. So just gonna activate it. That should boost it to 121, and back we go on our merry way. 5 precise components and keep going. Oh, I thought I got it there. Wow, what a troll. Holy hell! I got one! I got one, guys! Yes! That took 354. Could have been worse, I guess. Could have been much worse. I'm very happy about that. Let's bank it before I destroy it by accident. I remember doing that to one of my first few gizmos I made, which was pretty rare. Don't remember which one it was, but I'm pretty sure I captured it in a video. But anyway, I'm going to bank it and continue. I need 3. 1 for each combat style. Okay, what? Ha! Haven't got a single one since then. This is the last gizmo. Will I get it? No, I won't. So I've only got 1 in 1000, so much for 1 in 500 drop rate. But knowing me, I'm always unlucky at everything. So yeah, I'm gonna make 1000 more and hopefully I'll get the last 2. Hopefully being the key word there. Right, let's get this show on the road. So I forgot to record my invention and crafting XP when I made the 1000 gizmos, so I'm going to do that now and then add in the 1000 later, and at the end of it all, after I get the 3, I will hopefully add up all the XP. Let's go round 2. Whoop! That is another 1000 made. Took about, how long did it take me? 50 minutes to make all those, and now it's time to turn them into P4E2. Hopefully 3 more. 2 more at least, that would be nice. What? Yes, just 24 gizmos, guys. Just 24 gizmos. And I got another one. Just 1 more to go. Hopefully I will get it within the next 976. I'm so excited to finally be done with this. Although 1 more to go, I gotta calm down. I gotta calm down. Just 1 more. Come on, you can do it, Zen. Come on. And bank this one before you destroy it by accident. Just like you forgot to pick up the Eddie pet by accident. Holy shit! Oh, I've done it! I've done it. I thought I would have to go 2k without getting the 3rd one, but I've got all 3 in 1732, which is just over the, just worse, slightly worse than the average. And yeah, I missed the window, but I have it here for proof. I'm so glad I'm done with that. 3 gotten, a lot of time spent. I've still got how many? 13k precise components, so I spent 9k precise components for that. So if ever in the future I need to do that again, I have the resources required to do it. The only problem is I ain't touching that thing ever again. That was such a pain. 4 hours spent in this wretched place doing something completely mind-numbing, and I'm not even gonna go into how long it took me to disassemble the parts and how much money I spent there. Forget that. Actually, I'll tell you what, that's exactly what we're gonna do. So before we get started on that analysis, just a quick one on what I did. So if you didn't know already, you can make an untradeable item called an equipment separator at level 115 invention at the workbench, which will, when used on a weapon or armor that is level 15 or above, give you back the gizmos without destroying the augmentation or the levels and without destroying the gizmos. But there is a 25% chance that the equipment separator will not be consumed, sorry, and that chance increases to 50% at level 19. So it is in your interest to level your things up to 15 and beyond, especially expensive weapons and armor that you're going to be using for a long time. And that update came out just when I got 200 mil inventions, so I had no reason to siphon anything anymore, so I could just level it up to my heart's content. That's exactly what I did. I used the equipment separator to get back the precise 5 in case I ever need to use it again, which I don't think I will. And if you don't have that, well, you can just use a gizmo dissolver. So what are the numbers? What are some of the numbers that were used? Well, first things first, I wouldn't even dream about trying to get this perk, even if you were crazy enough to get it. I wouldn't even dream about it if I was under 120 invention. There is literally no point in trying because your chances cap out at 120, and it's already pretty damn rare and time consuming that you don't really want to be getting it before that. And is it worth it? Well, that's probably the biggest question, and the answer is that it is around 1% more DPS than Precise 5. So Precise 5 is very roughly, as an estimate, 6.25% increased DPS compared to if you didn't have Precise 5. P4E2 is 7.45% increased DPS roughly. So that's about a 1.2% difference there. And this is based on average values. Obviously certain abilities will be affected in certain ways, and Precise and Equilibrium affect each other as well, so there's a bunch of stuff to consider mathematically before you can give out these percentages. But essentially it's, say, a 1%, roughly 1% increased DPS over P5. Now because it's such a small increase and because of how long it takes to get, myself and most of the RuneScape community probably didn't consider going for it. However, what made me go for it was the release of machines, especially Auto Disassembler Mark II. So I'm working on a machines guide, so that'll be out later, but I've got some numbers for you to have a look at. So you can disassemble 13k unique items at a time while capping out your storage within the Auto Disassembler Mark II. I have 2 of them, so I put in 26k magic shield bows at a cost of almost 25 mil GP. At the end of it, which basically took me just over 9 days, because an auto disassembler disassembles items 50 times slower than you if you did it manually, and it only does it once an hour on the hour, 60 items on the hour. So yeah, that took me 9 days, and at the end of it I got a nice 3.9k strong components and 6.2k precise components. Now strong components are needed to make weapon gizmo shells, which is obviously what you need to put in 5 precise components and keep trying for this perk. And so it cost me 6.6 magic shield bows per strong component, or 13 magic shield bows per weapon gizmo shell. This cost me 12.6k. And if we look at how much it costs to make one entire Precise 5 perk, which costs 5 precise components of course, that's 21 magic shield bows per Precise 5 perk attempt, which is 20k GP. Now depending on whether you want to make 1, 2 or 3 Precise 5 components, I'm going to go with 2 things here. One is the average drop rate of 1 in 500. My drop rate was about 1 in 550 or 1 in 570 or something like that, which is pretty much the same for all 3 of mine, although I got my first one at 354 gizmos, my second one at 1024, and my last one at 1732. So they're reasonably well spaced, but I've heard horror stories about people getting dry for thousands and thousands, and also people getting almost back to back. So it's pretty much just RNG, despite the 1 in 500-ish drop rate, which can be increased of course by using your Invention Cape boost, which is what I try to do. So at a 1 in 500 drop rate, it would cost you 10.5, 21 and 31.5k magic shield bows respectively for 1, 2 and 3 P4E2s. That translates to not that much GP, not as much as I expected, But disassembling that is a pain, and it would take you almost 11 hours to disassemble 31.5k magic shield bows by hand. Or if you want to use the auto disassembler and just go about your business as normal, well, that would take you 22 days. Yeah, it's pretty slow, guys. It's pretty slow. Now, I was really slow myself when I was testing this out by making the gizmo shells and then filling them up and then destroying them and then making them again. I spent 4 hours doing 2k, almost 2k. I reckon if you were at really peak performance, you can get 1k an hour. And I mean really peak, without any breaks, without anything. I could be slightly off, but it doesn't really matter. So it'd take you about half an hour to get 500 done, or 1.5 hours to get 1500 done. And in total, well, that would take you 4, 8 and 12 hours respectively, which doesn't sound like a lot. But the fact of the matter is, it is extremely boring. And you can only AFK the disassembly, you can't really AFK the gizmo making. Not for long anyway. If you include the machine's disassembly time, well, that's going to take you days and days. But you won't really have to do anything because the machine does everything in the background, of course. But yeah. And the machine also costs extra divine charge while it's running. So it will cost you a little bit of money, but not much, to disassemble stuff using the machine. So all in all, it's going to cost you about 10 to 11 mil at a 1 in 500 drop rate for each P4E2, and about 4 hours if you disassemble it yourself, or half an hour if you disassemble it yourself, and then a week in the background if you use a machine. So interesting numbers here. It doesn't sound as bad as I thought it might, which is good, but remember that, like I said, I wouldn't recommend you to do any of this unless you're a 120 invention, because there is no point. And do you really want that 1% extra DPS boost? Well, I'd probably say if you're a really top-end PVMer, yes, it's worth getting it. If not, then definitely not. Just go for Precise 5 with 5 Armador components, and it's reasonably cheap and reasonably common to get. So that is about it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. I certainly didn't enjoy the grind that went on behind it, but I did enjoy making it and putting these numbers up. I plan on making a Invention Batch 2 machines guide next week or so, which will analyze all the numbers based on what are the best combinations of machines to use for the most GP per hour, that kind of thing. So that should be pretty interesting. If you're interested, have a look at my day of release Invention Batch 2 quick overview video. I think it's a great update. A lot of quality of life stuff more than big blockbuster updates as such. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.
I'll take the pain away.